Bill Carroll, City 62 Media, and it is that time again where I work my way through some of the players that I have on my watch list for the upcoming season of 2024-2025, and of course the draft to follow. And I'm going to mention once again a couple of players, one of whom particularly I think is an NFL prospect. The other one is a player who the future is a little less certain, but has made a strong impression on me. So I'm going to start, excuse me, Sammy Edwards, quarterback, Valdosta State, which of course is a powerhouse program. Valdosta State's been winning as long as I can remember. They're just a top program in the Gulf South Conference and have been, once again, as long as I can remember. But Edwards is only really knock his size. He's listed at 6'2". I'd say maybe 6'1 and 3/8, 6'1 and a half, somewhere in there. 188 is probably about right, maybe a pound or two, off, but not much off. So you'd like to see him get to a little over 200 pounds. And of course, the closer to 6'2", the better. Though the prejudice against shorter quarterbacks is finally beginning to subside a bit. Had a great year last year in 14 games. He managed to pass for 4,223 yards on 494 attempts. 327 of those were completions, 34 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. So that's over 3 touchdowns to every interception. If he can ooch that up even a little bit more, 3.5 to 1 or 4 to 1, even more exciting. Was a finalist for the prestigious Harlan Hill Award, which once again is essentially the Division II version of the Heisman. Third in the voting. Was, I think, one of the top 10 players of all of Division II last year. Was the conference commissioner's Super Region 2 Offensive Player of the Year. Like I said, a monster year. Was second in passing yards nationally at Division II level. Number 6 in passing touchdowns. And contributed also a little bit, though he's not what you would call, he's athletic enough. He can go out and make certain things happen with his rushing, but it's not the cornerstone of his game. However, did manage to account for 271 yards rushing. And once again, just to remind you, at the collegiate level, they subtract out sack yards. So he rushed for well over 300 yards, probably closer to 400 once you subtract out. So, bigger, like I said, continues to show a little more of that second level arm strength, right? He has more than enough zip for all the underneath stuff and even to the intermediate level. If he can show that he can drive those deep crossers, those deep posts, those deep outs, right? Can he throw those deep corner routes with a little bit of firmness? Once again, he may still be asked to be a guy that sort of works his way up to the NFL level from a lower level, but a lot to like there. And then another player I want to make sure that I mention, because this player to me is a definite pro prospect, a top somewhere between 150 and 200 type player in this draft class so far, at least. It's early in the process. Is Josiah Silver. Now, I want to make sure that I make this clear. Hashtag 757football, and shout out to Mala and Chris, my godbrother and godsister, who are Phoebus graduates. He is from Phoebus High School. And no, sorry, they went to Kickatam. Scratch that. But the point is that he is from sort of my old stomping grounds area, roughly the area, the Tidewater area, out there in Hampton. So, size-wise, he's about the same size as guys like Shaquille Barrett were at about the same point in their development. In fact, that's when one of the people I compared him to is Shaquille Barrett. Terrific defensive end. Was second team defense in the conference, CAA conference last year. He at least was on 4 All-American teams, was the New England Football Writers All-New England team, first team All-Conference in 2022 in the conference. He's been out there getting it done for a couple of seasons. In last year, he had 23 solo tackles in 11 games and 20 assisted tackles, a total of 43. You'd like to see a little more on the solo tackle side, maybe get to the, 2/3 of his tackles being solo tackles, but still a solid number. 9.5 tackles for loss and 5 sacks. Also had 8 hurries, blocked a kick. Had a terrific game against Central Michigan. Once again, playing up a level in competition. For those that ask about level of competition, in that game against Central Michigan, had 2 tackles for loss in that game, and had 3 tackles for loss and 2 sacks against Monmouth. Once again, pretty good football program. Shout out to my friend Jeff Lloyd. So, what I will say about Josiah Silver, once again, you'd love to see him maybe get a little bit bigger or do more in coverage. He's either going to be a situational pass rusher at the next level, or if you want to use him as a true outside linebacker, which is not beyond the realm of possibility, that he might be asked to do that. And he does drop a little bit, but not very often. He's a guy that is a pass rusher, so that's not really a shocker, is it? But if he could show he can contribute a little bit more consistently in the other aspects of playing defense, that will help him if he is asked to be a quote-unquote real linebacker. But even if he's not a real linebacker, he'll still be fine. So in terms of generating those other statistics, since he didn't do a lot, he had 1 pass breakup, no interceptions, and didn't force or recover a fumble. And while those aren't make or break things, you would like to see him maybe, whether it be a strip sack or punching one out on a running back that maybe someone else is tackling, maybe the 3 technique, or somebody is sort of hit somebody from the side, he can come maybe from the other side and punch the ball out. You want to see him work on maybe trying to get the ball out. If he can show that he can generate more turnovers and, like I said, maybe even play a little bit more in coverage, teams that want to use him as a linebacker will feel better about it. But once again, these are terrific players. I would feel great about seeing either of them at, say, the East-West Shrine game. 2 players I really like. I'll have 2 more for you tomorrow. Once again, this is Bill Carroll for Zenny 60 Media, working through my 2024-2025 watch list for the college football season and, of course, the draft to follow. I will see you again tomorrow.